guys have no idea how excited I am. Hello, happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm just going to leave Francesca's amazing, beautiful face up there for a moment longer because she is just a queen. She is divine. She is divine. Welcome. Come into the room. I'm going to let some more people in the room. I just need to share some more photos because Francesca Harper is a queen. She's just a queen. She's a cultural chameleon. You know, look at this. Look, I mean, really, y'all? Amazing. I cannot wait for you guys to talk with us today. So I think Francesca has sent me a request and we're going to get right to it. Welcome, and happy Friday. Yes. Oh my God. So excited. Hi.
I can't.
It's going to be this the whole hour, I'm sure. Okay, wait, you're sideways now.
Wait, I know. Wait, I guess that's...
It's okay, you look beautiful. Oh my God.
Oh, you do too. You look beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so honored. You have no idea. This is too exciting.
I'm beyond honored. I was so busy looking at photos. I didn't even do my normal spiel about
I know. I saw you partying. I love it. You just had your music on.
Right.
Like, let's
so
just
you
go.
get your camera set. I'm gonna just
okay. Yeah. Sorry. I know I'm struggling still.
No. So do your thing.
To join on my computer, but I was having problems doing that, so I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So welcome to dannIGeeLive. I am on with the amazing Francesca Harper, and as always, I just want to give thanks and shout out to all of you for always joining. But also special uplift and prayer to our Asian brothers and sisters in our communities because really, why? And for today, I specifically wore this t-shirt. You can't see it now, but it says, drink water, love hard, fight racism. And that's from Mahogany Mommies, who is a Black-owned and run women's boutique online. And it's an independent business that was started to uplift not just Black women, but all women. And the link to their website where you can buy this amazing t-shirt and support them is in my bio. And so all that aside, I will preface this conversation by saying most of you probably, if you're on Instagram a lot like I am, notice that Instagram went down today for like an hour. I was freaking out.
You were telling me. That's crazy. Right,
so
of course.
We're going to try to get through this. Fingers crossed, because this is a conversation I have been so excited to have and anticipating, like just couldn't even sleep last night because I'm so excited.
Oh, I feel the same. You know, I have such admiration for all that you do. I mean, you are just such a huge part of our community and bringing people together, you know, and so thoughtful and generous about, you know, yes, us being in this lifetime together, you know.
You really have, Francesca. I mean, so if you guys don't know Francesca Harper, she is a longtime professional dancer as well as vocalist, Broadway performer, started her own company, the Francesca Harper Project. And there's so much else you've been doing. Again, I was peeking through the bio, going back in the histories of things. And when I look at both of our careers, you joined, so let me go back. So the first question I had, because we'll get to that, because your career has been unbelievable, right? It's unbelievable. And digging back through the bio, please tell me about growing up in New York and going to the all-girls private school that you went to from 6th grade to 12th grade.
Yes. Well, I mean, you know, I had so much fun growing up in New York. Mm-hmm. It was, I think also too, it was so interesting. I went to this all-girls school on the Upper East Side, 3 Blacks out of my entire class of 54. Wow. But then after I would finish there, I would shoot down to Ailey. And so then I was immersed in a totally different, in the Black dance community. You know, and then we would go down to, we lived in Greenwich Village. So we were in the middle of, at the time, it was like the Bohemians, all of the artists lived there. Mm-hmm. So it was a complete mixture of people. So that's what I mean, for me growing up in New York, traveling from all the way downtown, I just had this breadth experience and diversity. You know, I mean, that's really the reason I came back to New York. Yeah, I knew I wanted to raise, you know, have a family and raise a daughter and well, raise a child. And I just, New York was it for me, I think, from after my experience.
Yeah, and touching briefly on that, because obviously beautiful husband and daughter, Harper, how have you guys been doing? Everybody okay?
She's your mini-me. She's the Danny G mini-me. We're doing fine. You know, it is, it's touch and go sometimes. It's been touch and go. She has been back in school since September, which has been, you know, she actually goes to the same school, which is funny. Yes, she does. And I'm on the board of directors.
That's
there
right.
now.
And they just honored you.
Yes, they did.
The Nightingale something.
That's right. That we did a Black History celebration.
Right.
And they honored me for that. So that was really, yes. So that was, and she loves it there. You know, it's
beautiful.
It's a great program, although it's, you know, it sounds like it's an exclusive place. It really was it was founded two women after they received the right to vote, and they were a couple, and they started an all girls school, and a women's leadership program that starts in kindergarten.
I love it.
So it's not playing. These girls are debating in third grade. They're already trained to be leaders and to be speakers. And so it's really, I just loved it there. I was so nurtured, and I didn't feel racism there at all. I felt
that's
Francesca.
Good. That was my next question. Because it seems like going through the website of the school, and it's called the Nightingale School?
Nightingale Bamford.
Right? And it says, I mean, it looked from the website, it looked like they're really pushing like for the diversity and inclusion, and it's amazing. I was like, okay.
I mean, I'm getting chills. I can't tell you. We have, since the summer, just had our noses to the grindstone. I've been sharing stories, you know, being on the board and being a minority still. But the head of school and the board are ready, and they are leading the charge. It's one of the leading schools on the Upper East Side and in independent schools right now. So it's really exciting.
That's fantastic. And I love, I'm sort of paraphrasing, but they were talking about the Nightingale girl. Like, you know what that is. She comes with knowledge, skills, and confidence.
Yeah. You know,
how did your mom, of course we have to talk about, you know,
I know.
More, your beautiful mother, who I knew for forever, Denise Jefferson, beloved Graham teacher for me at Philadelphia. Your amazing mother. I mean, how did she know to send you to the school? Because you didn't start until 6th grade.
Well, you know what? In hindsight, I mean, she never really told me. It was funny. In 6th grade, she told me that it was not a choice, that I had to do it. You know, you remember her. Yeah. So, but I really think that she had come from Chicago, a really academic, like a rigorous school. And I think she really wanted me to have that kind of experience. I had been at another school that was more progressive at the time, which I think was also who she was. But at that point in 6th grade, she really wanted me to have rigorous academics. And I think also, you know, she was very much inspired by the feminist movement, you know, and Martha Graham. And I think that going to this all-girls school, you know, we really focused on the development of our minds. And we were not, you know, we were not distracted, you know, socially. We were really focused on learning and spanning our intellect, you know, so. Right. And that was really, it was a really wonderful, wonderful place. Yeah. But that was her decision. She really wanted me to have that experience.
That's amazing. And just, you know, for people listening who may not know, Francesca's mother, Denise Jefferson, was the director of the Ailey School for about 26 years. And she would come to Philadelphia every Wednesday night.
Every Wednesday. I would come with her. Every Wednesday. We would
and teach us.
We took the train.
Okay, get these kids gathered up. When I tell you,
snap.
Just Miss J, Miss Denise, all of it, she would get us gathered up. And I love telling this story about my, I mean, she was on me. And again, hindsight, she saw more for me than I could see for myself. Whether it was get up on that leg, lose that weight, she saw bigger things for me. She could never, you know, say it out loud because, of course, she's coming to Philadelphia, it's competition, Alvin Ailey, all that. But she was on me, and sometimes more than I.
Oh, I know. I still fight with that one.
Right.
No,
And so
no, it's yeah.
it was tough, but it was tough love, and I
The
think
love was
but
really there. As
the
tough
love
as it was, that was the one thing unquestionable. You know,
unquestionable.
I can never, right. The love was the leading, you know,
Right.
was the leading thing for her.
Absolutely. And I think
Motivation.
her generation of not enough opportunities, when she saw that we could have those opportunities, but be on it, right? And so my final time auditioning for Alvin Ailey, I literally, and I've told you this story, Fran, she was coming to teach us that night that I found out that I got into the company. And in fact, she was on, like, in the room on
No,
the
that's
while
right.
I was auditioning. So she's like, I'm like, because, you know, I had to go back home and go to rehearsal at Philadelphia, and we're all like,
Right.
So that
Oh,
day,
right.
that Wednesday morning, May 25th, I found out that I got in. And I had to come to the studio and tell Aunt Joan. And we had Graham that night with your mom. And so she's looking at me.
Oh,
She's trying to read me because she didn't know, because Ailey had left for tour that morning. So she didn't know who had gotten in. And so I'm in class and she's looking at me and I'm not giving anything away.
Ah!
Aunt Joan knew, but she was standing in the door like, she was
Oh,
mad. I mean, she was upset.
She was mad. Oh, I know.
So I took a moment. I snuck out of the rehearsal room after class was over. Your mom was about to get on the train to go right back to New York. And I snuck into the dressing room. And I was like, Miss J, I got in.
Did she just burst into tears?
Tears.
I know.
My quiet little tears. We're jumping up and down in the dressing room. She's half naked because she was trying to get dressed.
Right.
And we're like, she was like, okay.
I love it. Boy, she loved you.
Oh. So
yes,
I to bring her name into the room because
yes,
she has meant so much to so many of us, and I know she adored you. And just growing up with Denise Jefferson, your mom, I mean, you say even in your bio that, you know, just she inspires you still to this day and forever. Her career, her teaching ideology, just how she approached dance. What for that is still with you that you will carry with you forever?
Oh, well, you know, I keep thinking about it because she was such a force. You know, like you said, she was tough and she was, you know, strong, but she did it for others. She did everything for others. It was for the aspiring artists and for excellence and for their dreams to come true. And I think when I think back on that, I think, my gosh, what a wonderful combination.
Absolutely.
You know, to have this kind of self-independent drive, but really understand this like larger connection to the community and what that means for us, especially as Black people. You know, I think that's something that really she instilled in me, and was also another reason I came back to New York, to really be with, you know, my community here. It's really, it's been fortifying. It was fortifying for her, and continues to be fortifying for me and Harper. You know, I can already see, I can already see her sense of belonging and her sense of confidence.
I love
at
it.
such a young age, you know.
Oh yeah,
Because
I mean the few times I've been around your daughter, and even through her pictures, she's like, it's wonderful. But so, with so much dance around you, was it a natural fit? Like, did you just gravitate toward, and it was like, oh yeah, I got this?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I did. It was so beautiful to me, Danny. I remember going and just, you know, they were so in love with the art form when I was a child, and Alvin was around, and you know, Anna Marie Forsyth. I mean, I'm just seeing that there was this dressing room on 59th Street when I was this little girl. I just look up to them, and they were, you know, they were just passionate and in love with the work. I think of Gary DeLoach. I remember seeing his full career. I remember Renee when she came as a student from NYU in her purple unitard. And I remember the day she came into the building and then went to the third company, second company, first company, did Spectrum. Do you remember that piece it was called, no, Alvin choreographed it with Keith McDaniel in white and Renee was in purple. They were all colors of the spectrum. Anyway, I mean, these memories and the people, they were so, as I look back and I'm doing more writing these days.
Yes.
You know, just the fortune of being around people who love what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is like, you know, as a child, and now that I kind of traverse different worlds, Danny, it's like, that's the element. I realized that I was fortunate to be around, and it wasn't for the money. It's not.
Right.
It's for others. It's all for others. These performances, creating beauty for others, to be inspired for our community. And I just realized, my goodness, you know, even as I do board work or I do even my own work, you know, that understanding, sometimes I'll just feel my motivation is so, it's so unquestionably rooted in that, you know, and connecting and inspiring and receiving inspiration, you know.
And with your mom, you know, being deeply interested in Graham and the modern landscape, and even reading a little bit that she could have absolutely been a ballerina. Absolutely. Opportunities, few. And so you then starting in dance yourself, how old were you when you started dancing?
Maybe 3.
Oh my God.
I know. Started me early. She had a mission. Yes, I did.
And again, our lives are parallel, but I don't really think I knew you until I got into obviously Ailey more so.
Right.
But ballet, right? Tough
yeah.
world, tough career
yeah.
as a ballet dancer. It was ballet what you wanted to do even back then? Did you know?
God. You know, oh God, look at me. I'm getting choked up.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, girl.
No, I didn't. That just affected me more than I had expected. Oh yeah, I fell in love with, it was ballet. I don't know why. I've been thinking about that lately too. I know, sorry. Yes, it really was. I think honestly, Danny, at the time, Mom was working so hard. She was, you know, I mean, we were struggling. I even talked to her about that. It was hard. It was work, you know, it was like constantly work. And she wouldn't stop. She would get home and she'd be doing paperwork and be on the phone with people. It was like, it just never, it was such a push. And ballet, I would go to the studio and that was that piano music. And it was this vulnerability and this softening and that for me, it was really an escape from New York and from that struggle, and even from, you know, the modern dance world in a way, for me, has that edge, has that push and confrontational. Look at this, you know, like it's in a way. And I think it for me that, you know, the calm and that meditative, that meditative kind of warm up and beginning and you know, however,
right.
However,
okay.
it was, you know, it was a struggle being African American in the ballet world. And I think, you know, even to this day, you know, it has been, I came back to America and immediately started reaching out to Black dance companies. Most of the commissions I've done, Dallas Black Dance Theater, Dayton Contemporary, Ailey, you know, Dance Theater of Harlem, long relationship. But that's kind of where I just gravitated towards. And I think, you know, Bill Forsyth was really a completely different experience. I mean, it was multicultural. We were already fighting for gender equality in that work. But it was one place, and the rest of the European ballet and dance companies were very much homogenized. And there were so few Black, it was, you know, 2 out of a whole company or 3. And at one point at the Frankfurt Ballet, a third of us were people of color.
Wonderful. Speaking of which, hey Desmond, we see you, baby.
What? Des!
House, y'all. Come on. Hi. Okay, another history-making, breaking barriers, king of dance. And,
oh my God.
Okay, Addison.
Yesterday. I talked to him yesterday. I just, you know how we do. That's what we do.
I see you, Addison, over in Austria.
Addison,
Addison's in the room. Yes. And so to that point, again, looking at where our careers sort of paralleled, and looking at when you joined as a teenage ballerina, Dance Theater of Harlem, 87, right?
Yeah.
And so I was just joining Philadelphia. And so for my trajectory, predominantly white high school, and then having the balance, which is fine, like, okay, whatever, look, but then having the balance of going to Philadelphia, Black kings and
Right.
queens
We were
at
parallel
15.
lives.
Oh,
Parallel lives. There we go.
yeah, and then getting into Danko, formally, finally in the company at 16, 17, staying there for a bunch of years.
That's right. You were really a baby. I remember. Yeah.
In high school, doing math problems in between,
right on the side of the
six
studio.
counts of 8.
Right. I know. I know. Parallel.
Zane Booker, the two of us.
Yes.
And so you were 3 years. So tell me about being at Dance Theater of Harlem, being there with Mr. Mitchell, and I mean, who was in the company then? Was like Christina Johnson?
Yeah. Oh,
and them kids.
God. Ty Jimenez, Christina Johnson, Lorraine Graves. I know, Endalyn Taylor, you know, yes, Virginia, Yvonne Hall, Karen Brown. I mean, Karen Brown. Karen Brown. Okay. Karen, are you out there?
I would take a sip on that.
Yes, I remember Des. Yes. I mean, and that was really, I think that's where that was the beginning of the home and finding these bridges. You know, that was the ballet, but it was the first time similarly, I mean, I would go to Ailey to visit mom, and just in the summers, I'd be able to take classes. But for me, so I was doing ballet at School of American Ballet and Joffrey during the year. So when I went to Dance Theater of Harlem, it was just unbelievable for me. I mean, socially, and, you know, doing all the balancing, it was like my
yes
love. You know, we were doing all that balancing work and working with Arthur, and he was just such a force. Another one. Woo! Oh my goodness. So I mean, that was really but just doing this repertoire, and I was there for the 3 years, and since I graduated from high school. I went to Columbia University for one summer, but then I deferred, and because I got into the company. So, I mean, I got into the second company and then the first company. But that was just, you know, we would go to work, and we would go out for drinks afterwards, and then we would go to someone's house and listen to Luther Vandross and Ricky Bell. And, you know, I mean, it was just, I was completely immersed in the community, you know, and then doing what I loved and doing ballet and just, you know, having that. I know it was really, really something. Yeah.
Right.
It was really, really, it was.
What do you think about most people in their teen years and they're like, oh, I hated my life.
Right. Oh, never. No.
I will go back to my teen years in a heartbeat.
I know.
I mean, hanging out all night with fellow dancers and even my schoolmates who were all arts driven. Yes. I had a great time.
Yes, I had a blast. Oh, me too. I can't even. Some unspeakable things.
Okay, look. Girl. But that's what your teens are for. That's even what you're for.
And then safe, because we knew we had to get up the next day and get to class.
Right.
You always had to show up for that class, whether you had gotten 4 hours of sleep or not.
We could do that then, right? We could get 2 hours of sleep and be at that bar like
you were. I know you were there. We were there without fail, especially when we were young. Because
John Malik said hi.
Who's that?
John Malik. Hey, John Malik.
Hey, how are you?
Someone asked a really quick question.
I see Ballet Boy.
Oh, Polly's here. Polly's here, honey. I love it.
Oh my goodness, the legend.
You're 3 years in DTH, Dance Theater of Harlem. And again, if you're just joining us, I'm talking to the amazing Francesca Harper, the fabulous one. Thank you for joining. So 3 years, you started doing some leading role stuff?
Oh, yes, I did. I was an apprentice in the company, and I think it was Bronislaw Najinska. He had decided he was going to do 3 pieces, Les Biches, Rondo Capriccioso, and Les Noces. 3 pieces. I know. It was amazing.
Yes.
And they were looking for the leads in Les Biches and Rondo Capriccioso. And Les Noces. So I ended up, there was a part called the Hostess. And we had to audition for the role, and it ended up being between three of us, myself, Lorraine Graves, and Endalyn Taylor. And I was an apprentice, and I had just ruled it out. I said, this is not going to happen. She chose me. So I performed. That was my first role as an apprentice. So I did the lead in Les Biches.
Wow.
And then that led to Swan Lake. I did the soloist roles in Swan Lake and was learning choleric and Four Temperaments, you know. So it was my little breakthrough. And my sister and my dear sister Ty Jimenez, she got the lead in Rondo Capriccioso. And so so that was it was a really exciting year. You know, I think Arthur was not afraid to also just kind of push the young ones out there. If they,
I mean, if you could do it, why not?
Yeah, which was, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that.
So you're in the company 87 to I guess 1990.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and
I was just looking. Oh, it's Tony. Is that Tony?
Oh, Tony.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got this out. When I saw that name, I said, "Love you much too."
The kids are here, and the questions are going by so fast.
I know we can't keep up with them, but we want to.
I know. Put them in the question box, so I'll be able to ask them later. Okay, the kids are ready, honey. The kids
are ready. Okay, come on. I'm glad.
I'm ready for you. You're a goddess.
You are.
Oh, come on.
It's like, this is so much fun just going down memory lane, you know? It really is.
I love about this.
Because we push forward. We're always pushing forward, you know?
Always. I know. And it's good to take a moment to reflect and be like, yeah, I did that. That's all right. That's all right. You know? So 3 years in DTH, what was the decision to go to Europe?
It wasn't my decision. We were on layoff, 8-month layoff.
You know what?
It
was that
Arthur Mitchell lost all this money. I know. And that we were on this 8-month layoff, and I was so hungry and so ready to perform. I mean, and I had just done, you know, these roles, and I thought, my God. So my friend Alan Barnes, Alan Barnes, my brother Alan Barnes, he had joined Frankfurt Ballet, and we had seen them at City Center the year before. So he was living in Europe, and Jean-Emile, my dear Jean-Emile, come on.
Come on, say the names.
Come on. Yeah. Jean-Emile, I don't know if you're here, honey, but anyway, the legend, right? So they were I had some friends in Europe, so it wasn't as daunting to think about going to work in Europe. So I just said, let me go audition for Stuttgart, and I set a tour for Stuttgart, Hamburg, and Frankfurt. And I started in Frankfurt because Alan was there, and I remember seeing a performance, and I watched this performance. It was of Lim's Theorem, and I was blown away. And Slingerland was this other piece that they had the heads. I mean, you know, the European, it was the opera house, so it was limitless. I had never seen, there was this rotating wall that was like 20, it was huge, steel wall, and the dancers had their heads sticking up from underneath the, you know, his imagination was just outrageous. But there was this one piece, Lim's Theorem, and these women were dancing on point with sleeveless turtleneck black leotards and pantyhose and black point shoes and this electronic music playing. And I saw that. I said, oh, that was it. I said, that's exactly what I want to do. And my mother had told me, she said, you will know, right? When you have to trust your gut, that there will be a moment that it will come together and you will know. And that was it for me. And so I said, you know, I had Stuttgart and Hamburg coming up, but I saw that and I said, I gotta get this job. Yes. And then Nora Kimball took me into the studio the next day, and I learned her variation from In the Middle, Somewhat Elevated. It was, I know, I did it. I worked with Bill for an hour alone, and an hour alone. His wife Tracy was there too. I'll never forget that at the time. And afterwards he said, I'd love you to work with me. He just gave me an offer there.
Just like that.
And then I had to wait a year though. I had to wait. I know. He just said, yeah. And
why did you have to wait?
A year. I had to wait because they didn't have a contract.
Okay.
He's like, I'm gonna make, and he made a contract.
See, y'all,
I know.
that's what I'm talking about. That's
I
how that happens.
know. Oh, it was, I just know to this day, even when I look in my heart of hearts and I think back to that moment, destiny, it was just one of those things. Because even to this day, he is just like a dear, dear
So
friend.
good. I was going to ask you that.
Yes,
So wait,
yes.
so what did you, Desmond is in here. Yes,
Well, he
Nora.
is. Yes, he is.
Nora Kimball.
Nora, that's right. Nora Kumi Kimball.
Right. So
Yes.
what did you do for that year?
Oh, I freelanced. All over in New York. Yes, I freelanced. I danced with Walter Rutledge, and I know I did. What else did I
Complexions,
do?
probably. Oh, they had started by then. Sorry, go
I
back.
can't. I mean, just projects,
Yeah,
choreographic projects here and there.
yeah.
And then so I waited for that year.
I hear that.
It was intense. And then I went to Frankfurt and I started that first year, and it was difficult to transition and live in Germany. I took a course at NYU before I went. So I learned a little German before I went over there, which was nice.
Kids.
Yes.
Preparing.
The Nightingale Bamford, right. Yes. Anyway, so yes. So I went over there and it was just incredible. I mean, Danny, I was so into it. I would take baths every morning so that my muscles were ready. I was like, I was a little obsessive and I was ready. It was just so exciting. So exciting.
I mean, I'm not, trying to influence anybody to be obsessive, but if you're going to be.
No, I mean, no, I think it was really just excellence. I should take that back.
Yeah.
Because, Bill was not, he was so chill.
Mm-hmm.
In a way, we were never obsessive, really.
Right.
We were really ourselves, which was different.
Right.
That he created this safe space for us that we didn't have to be more than we were. We could share our opinion. Right. But when we talk about...
what I'm saying is, to any young dancers that are on here, whomever, if you're going to really do what you're going to do at a peak level, right? Yeah. That's what you had to do to be ready every day. Whatever it took to be on that elite dancers and companies like Frankfurt Ballet, Alvin Ailey, those are elite level. That's like elite sports, the NBA. You've got to do what it takes to keep that body ready, primed.
And that's why women I came in there, they were unbelievable, from San Francisco Ballet and from Paris Opera.
Best of the best.
I was like, oh Lord, I know.
Wait, what was that? What was that first day of rehearsal like? Were you just like?
Ooh. Well, I'm going back. I remember this is one we were doing Agon. So he had done a new version. So we didn't do it with the full orchestra, but he did a new version with 2 grand pianos and 2 pianists on stage. It was really, really amazing. So I was there, and I think I was third cast.
Mm-hmm.
I was third cast, but we were doing a lot of other pieces at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the people I was understudying, I was kind of understudying these regular people and principal dancers and honey, the second cast got injured. First cast got injured. Mama went out first cast.
Oh.
And that was this thing, you take advantage. That was the bath every morning. I was like, this is it. Seize the day, carpe diem. This is it. Seize it.
Yes.
And I realized in hindsight, I think when I'm now being a director and, just to have artists that are willing to work for you and give on that level is a gift. I mean, but he was so demonstrative with his gratitude, which was really different. It was really different for us. It was not a tyrannical, approach that he took, I mean, I think he knew. One time he talked about understanding that casting was a very powerful thing. People were waiting, but that was really it. I mean, and if you wanted to learn a role, you would can I learn? Yes, of course you can learn it, I mean, it was really a very generous environment. So
that's awesome.
It was really inspirational. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how, I don't know the company, inner outer of the company, but how many people are on the roster at one given time? How many contracts?
It was about 30. It was about 30.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, 30, 34. Mm-hmm. So it was a good number. It was yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, did you ever? Cause I don't think I ever got the chance to see you with Frankfurt because I'm again parallel career.
Right, you were doing your major touring,
Running around
you
the
all
world with
toured.
Ailey.
Man, did Ailey, you never stopped touring. You were always, you know what, it's so true though, Danny, because I remember only 1 year that Ailey came to Frankfurt. And it was one rehearsal they came to in the studio. And I remember Karine
Yes.
was there at that time, but I don't know if you were there at that time, or for the group. It was just some people that elected to come that day, or,
Right.
but there was just that one day I remember.
I probably was out sightseeing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you were like, I gotta take a day off. I know.
No,
Yes.
but you're right though. I remember only in my span with Ailey going to Frankfurt once. I mean, we went to many
Yes,
different
right.
cities, but I
No,
only remember going to
Ailey didn't
Frankfurt.
go.
Yeah, that one time.
Yeah.
But then tell me, since Desmond is here, Desmond, love you.
Get up and do. Yes, I know, Des.
So tell me about then Desmond coming into
okay. All right,
Frankfurt.
you ready? All right, I'm going to say it, Des. Here's your story, right?
Come on.
All right. So, Des was, I think, dancing. Oh, I'll be careful, Des. Okay. So I remember he just was really excited about Bill's work. Mm-hmm. And he reached out. He said, "Fran, I would love to come. We were going to be in Paris." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Des, you got to come," because we were so excited. We were doing such interesting work. We were doing new works of Bill's, Lim's Theorem, and so Des came to Paris.
Yeah,
honey. Oh no, please. Bill worked with him for 1 hour. Oh, Fran, I called you. That's right, Des. I called you, and I said, okay, you just have to come experience this. So anyway, so he came.
So wait. So was this post Ailey for Des?
I think it might have been around that time. I think it was post Ailey. Mm-hmm.
And so Complexions was cooking by then?
I think, wait, let me see. What does it say? It says he said quartet. Quartet?
Maybe Vertiginous? Because he was that great picture of you guys in the skirt.
Right. Maybe that's it. So we get into the studio. I called him. I said, you have to come. I think maybe he might have been near Paris or something. We go into the studio, and Bill works with him, I think, maybe for a half an hour. Mm-hmm. And he was like, okay, you want to come? It was like one of those things. I mean, he was so impressed with Des.
Of
Des
course.
He's a phenomenon of our time.
Yes.
And so then I think that, that's when Des got his contract and came over and joined us. And we did Vertiginous while he was there. Desmond and I danced a few times. We danced quite often together, I was so glad I had that time with him because we had grown up together at Ailey. We had trained with Mom and Walter Raines.
Yeah.
And so it was, we had really known each other our teen years, from 13 through 18. That's really. And John Emile and myself, and it was Peter Moore, like a lot of
Peter
Moore and Roland Brown. Yes, yeah. We were all, and Adrian Hurd. Adrian Hurd. We were all in the school at the same time.
So, I mean, so the few people that I knew that were, traversing Europe at that time, brown folks, like Ramon Flowers over at Belcham.
That's right. Yep. And Ramon came over and joined us. It was like everybody was coming over to Frankfurt.
Everybody was coming over to Frankfurt
because he was opening the doors up, unlike some other European ballet companies. Oh. Hello.
So now you're there till about 1999. Yeah.
99. That's right. Mm-hmm.
And then you decide to come home.
I had this moment, and this is like one of those divine moments. I was on stage and I did this voice, really strong voice. I will never forget it. Said, "You have to go home for your baby."
Mm-hmm. What?
Dating no one at the time. That's literally what this voice said to me.
Huh.
So I knew, like I told you, I think probably in the back of my mind, I knew, if I were going to have a child and raise it, that maybe it could have been that, but I wanted to go back to New York. But ironically, Danny, I realized in hindsight, I had 99. I had years with
Uh-oh.
my mom,
Ah,
and then
yes.
she passed. So I
Oh,
think,
right.
I think when I think about that, it was almost like the universe was beckoning me to have that moment with her before Harper
Mm.
was born. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I look at the photos, you know, you and Eric, right? Eric, your husband.
Cohen. Yes,
The
yes.
wedding photos at the Ailey building with your mom there. I mean, just, oh, amazing,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
thank that for you and for
Yes, that moment. I know. I think about those moments now and just cherish them so
hmm
much, you know.
hmm
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you moved back to New York, and
Yes.
did you start working right away? Because then Broadway, but you
Oh,
wait, but then you had already started dabbling in your choreography.
that's right. Well, let me see. I that was about 2000. Yes, that's right. I had been back and forth doing my choreography in summers. Alan and I would come back and we would, choreograph on the school and do that. So I always started. I think also Bill really started my creativity or sparking my creativity. He is one of the first companies, maybe one of the only, maybe some modern companies, but he would let us go out and do other projects and come back to the company
Beautiful.
and would save our contracts and
Yeah.
places for us. So it was that open door. So I did my first full evening length piece for the Holland Dance Festival. And so that started my choreography. And then
hmm
I came back and I just, after this kind of multidisciplinary approach and experience with Bill, I just didn't want to, I just didn't see another company that I wanted to dance with at the time. So I said, oh, let me
Mm.
try Broadway and try to see if I can really, do dancing, acting, and singing and see where
Yeah.
that goes. And that was really wonderful experience. It was difficult as a dancer, I think, after having worked so closely with a director to just feel like, really the actors are the ones that are heralded on Broadway.
hmm
So and I
hmm
did Fosse. That was a great,
Yeah.
yes, that was a really
Wait a
wonderful
minute.
show.
I have my notes.
What?
Hold up.
Uh-uh.
So producers,
Yes.
Fosse, as you just mentioned, the frogs,
Yes.
the color purple.
Oh,
Oh, when I saw you all in the color purple, Jamal's story, all the,
oh, it
I
was
was so
life-changing for us
proud.
all. And Donald Byrd.
Donald Byrd, that was so, and you got to go on as Suge and Squeak, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
I did. I know.
see,
I did.
kids.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that was my next question because when did you know you had a singing voice?
Oh, that is just something I always loved to do. I saw it from a very young age, singing. I saw that as part of my future.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you the strangest thing, when mom was really sick,
Mm.
I remember I was asking for guidance, and I just felt this, I felt compelled to sing. It was like, just sing, just sing. So I started, it was a very strange, it's just been innate. It's been
Yeah.
there for me. I
Yeah.
think also it's a sense of soothing for
Mm.
me, and the vibrations, the experience of it is so beautiful and calming,
Mm-hmm.
and so I started singing. But acting was really what was very interesting for me, and really studying acting while I was on Broadway. My mom always said, and this is great for young people too, if you're going to do something, really you have to learn the craft of it.
Oh,
You cannot just go in and say, I'm going to be a star, and that's what I did from day one. I started studying privately with Jack Waddell,
mm.
and then took acting classes. So I started learning about another art form and started making these wonderful connections and
Mm-hmm.
bridges between acting, which is something that we do as dancers.
Yes.
I just didn't realize what an important component,
Mm-hmm.
and I think acting for me analyzes human experience and story on such a deep level,
Mm-hmm.
that that's what was amazing to me. When my mom passed, it was really interesting. I was still doing acting, but I would walk into the studio, Danny, and the dance studio, and I would see her in her little, remember she loved those Katie did, she would put those knit just all the way up. I don't know how she did it. She's like this knit unitards. But
Snatch
I would see
boots.
her do that, and I just couldn't. It was so painful. I would break out into tears. I
Oh.
couldn't manage it. So I just pivoted to acting and for a moment, and I studied with Susan Batson, and it just opened up doors. I did this one woman show, Look of Feeling, about her,
Yes.
and wrote it. And I think that for me, and then after acting, I started breaking down intentionality as a choreographer in my work. And I worked with Eric Oisaku at the time, who's my rehearsal director and still a collaborator. And we concentrated on a very intense relationship from her past. And we took real experiences and went from the beginning of the piece and staged they standing ovations every time she did it.
Wow.
And so that was like the recipe for me. That was that key element that I thought, oh my goodness, it's all about our stories.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
I see that in Bill T. Jones's work so clearly. We see, these elements. I think that's what's so wonderful, having had a lifetime of experience, that you start, you aspire to kind of reach towards things when you're younger, but then the understanding only comes from the experience and from the failing and the trying and the attempt.
Well, it's also having the courage to tap into them and bring them forth. The audience might not know what the experience is, but if you have the courage to go back and reflect and tap into it, and it's like reliving it, whether it's trauma, fear, sadness, all of it, it takes a lot of courage to relive some of that stuff. Some people just bury it down,
That's right.
and never speak of it again, or try not to think of it again. But it resurfaces, as we know, in other ways.
That's right.
Right.
Oh, I tell you that I think that's the challenging part of what we do artistically, and I'm sure you know this from all of your roles that you've done. It's like to bring an authenticity and a truth to it and relive it in an honest way is just what I talk about that with my students now, about how powerful that is, even as scary as it is. But then it becomes exciting when you can tackle it.
Yes.
And that's what I realized with acting. Oh my gosh, well, if I can deal with, this deep grief and loss, I can deal with anything.
Right.
And so you start running towards a challenge
as
opposed to avoiding it.
Exactly.
You run towards it.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, always thank you for spending your Friday late afternoon with me. I'm talking with Francesca Harper, who I have had the pleasure in my tenure as a summer stage dance curator.
Oh my gosh. I've been so fortunate. Thank you for all the opportunities. I can't even count.
Francesca, the first time I presented Francesca was in 2008 on a shared bill with Rennie Harris. It was amazing.
That's right.
The second time was 2013, East River Park.
Oh,
and it was definitely that. It was always multi-genre, multidisciplinary. It was amazing. And then just one of my final shows before we couldn't do any more shows, 2019, on a piece that you're working on that's still in creation, I believe, with Wendy, Whelan.
Yes.
Okay. And marked by Muthi Joseph for Central Park Summer Stage.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
So,
yes, thank you so
Francesca.
much. That's what I mean, just how you create these opportunities. We're so lucky to have you, and continuing also this platform just to see you translate all of that experience into our digital world.
In my living room having a glass of wine.
I know, I love it.
Just talking to people.
I know, I hope y'all have your wine too. That's what you do on a Friday. Don't you? Please. At 5 o'clock, please.
So, we're almost at the 6 o'clock mark. Do you have about 24 minutes or so?
That was it?
No.
Come on.
If you have more time, we can just go until about 6:30 if you're okay with that. Because I definitely wanted to get to what you and I talked about, quickly on the phone before we got on this. But before I get to that, though, I think there's one question in the room. First cast, go on and be ready. That's Desmond.
I love it. That's right, Des.
And so someone asked earlier, I hope I'm getting this question right. How has working in a diverse company like Frankfurt Ballet impacted not only your life, but the way you approach your choreography and your career?
Oh my goodness. Well, it drives everything. Multiculturalism is what
Mhm.
inspires me, you know.
Yeah.
And also I think intersectionality for me,
Hmm.
you know, is really exciting. I think you know, it's made me also very astute in being able to discern mentalities. I
Oh.
can feel energetically if someone is not open-minded and
Mm.
quickly pivot and run the other way.
Hmm.
And so that, you know, I think from that experience as an educator and as a director and a creator, you know, I'm very aware of the philosophy that you bring to a room, to an art piece.
Hmm.
And so that diversity and creating a safe space for all is always present in, you know, in the foundation of any work
Right.
I create or curate.
Yeah. And so some of the people that you've worked with, which is amazing, just recently even Carrie Mae Weems, Nona Hendricks, that huge piece at the Met. I mean, come on.
No, and Nick Cave, the
Nick
Let Go at the Park
Cave.
Avenue Armory. Well, I tell you, I have found my counterculturalist family. You know, I mean, I think that's what I just love about, you know, having worked with Bill and just seeing that we're so limitless when it comes to being artists. That we don't just
Yes.
have to be commercial artists, that we can be, you know, we can collaborate. When I was in Frankfurt, we collaborated with film directors and architects and, you
Mm.
know, and that for me just always expanded
Mm-hmm.
my mind and my mentality. So, you know, Carrie Mae Weems, she's also, you know, these are also multidisciplinary artists. We created Refrigerated Dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Nona curated a festival, I think, for a year at Joe's Pub. And
Mm-hmm.
they just aren't afraid of, you know, we had video installation and her singing live, and it was an immersive. We had the audience at the dinner table, and, you know, I mean,
Yes.
you just, let's find new formats, you know,
Right,
why not?
right.
Yes. And
Esperanza
so
Spalding does just said
Esperanza Spalding, oh, yes,
Esperanza.
right.
But also too, I mean, again, looking at your career, it's so inspiring that you've just said, you know, been fearless. You're at the McKittrick Hotel for Sleep No More. You're doing Lady Day at the Emerson Bar and Grill. Tell me about that.
Oh, well, I just watched the movie last night. I can't
Oh,
even,
you
I can
did?
barely speak.
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't.
Danny.
Oh yeah, okay. Mm.
Woo! And they really just cite the trauma of
Mm.
racism. I mean,
Mm.
it's just like, I just love, you and I were talking just about this moment in time. And Tiffany Rea Fisher and I were talking yesterday.
Love her.
Come, and it's our Renaissance.
Oh.
I mean, it's like that movie is you know, it's just, it's part of the movement that's happening now. It's calling
Right.
it out. It's being transparent about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really enjoying that as Black
Mm-hmm.
artists, as
Yeah.
Black and brown artists. You know, we are just really digging into the truth because, you know, it's the first time in many years, and I don't know if you feel this way, that I think people are receptive to it.
Mm. Well, let's be clear. Like
Oh,
we, Fran, you know me, Fran. We've never gone anywhere. We have influenced all
I
levels,
know.
culture from day one. Okay, it's just that now because of the movement and everything else, and what's has happened, especially this year, we can step up and claim it all
Yeah,
and be at
immediately,
the front
right now.
and not take no for answers, all this other stuff. We can really be like, yeah, we're here and we're not going in. First of all, can you believe that we are still dealing with this dumb racism? Like, are you kidding me?
No, I
Are
was
you
just
kidding
in a
me?
meeting the other day, and I had a meeting recently or a couple weeks ago, and I was talking about a certain experience that I had, and they were saying, "Oh, but that's so strange. I've never heard about." I said, "Really? In 2021, you haven't heard about this experience? Still fighting that, you know?" I Anyway, but the transparency, and I think these stories being out there are
Mm-hmm.
educating. Well, you know, are what I have found that's different, and I don't know if you feel this way, when I was young
Mm-hmm.
and they were training us to combat racism,
Mm-hmm.
I felt that we were quiet. There was a composure that we had, and Desmond can attest to that. There was a certain way that we would carry ourselves, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't necessarily share all that was going on. you know, behind in our minds, in our, you know, there was this definite, that for me, there was a definite distancing that I'll take you on my terms, you know, and now
Right. It's
that,
still on.
but that wall is that's
Right.
becoming a little bit more fluid. Like, you know, the things that I wasn't necessarily trained to say, they're saying now.
Yes.
And those nuances, you know, the psychological nuances that we, you know, maybe weren't even aware of,
Yeah.
are now being shared. That's what I
Yeah.
feel also in that film was just
Okay.
really.
I mean, about the somebody said Negro politeness, baby, right?
Honey,
It's
right?
so true.
Negro politeness.
Thank you, Jabalik, for that, because
That's
I
right.
think about
To survive, right? To be
being in Alvin
non-threatening, to
Ailey.
be non-threatening.
Right. Always being like, I remember being at Alvin Ailey. We had just done a show in Boston, which we know that city can be problematic. But dressed to the nines, post-show reception, full makeup on, eyelashes, bun, black cocktail dress, earrings. This woman comes up to me, older white woman, hands me her glass, and was like, "Can you refill my wine?" I'm like, "Do you really think I'm staff? Are you really?" But again, not being the person I am now, I was just like, "Ma'am, I don't work. I'm one of the dancers. Me now? Girl, try it now."
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. I think that's what's so wonderful about at this point in our lives. There's a story, and I don't know if Desmond is still here.
He is, yeah.
Yeah, but there was this story. I remember going to the Ballet Frankfurt, and I walked to the Opera House, and I'm not sure. I think it was Desmond. I'm not sure if you were there, but it was the 3 of the black male dancers were being questioned by the police in front of the Opera House where they were principal dancers.
See that. Girl, that.
I have another friend who was telling me a story about, right, he was on the poster in front of the, you know, on the Opera House and got stopped by the police. There he was on the poster.
Girl, right. No, I mean, I remember being on the street with Michael Joy, again, in Boston, sadly. And we had a break between, like, before class, like, after rehearsal. People are online at the box office buying tickets to see the show that night. But see Michael Joy coming down the street towards them, clutching their purse. You know, you're buying tickets to see his black body on the stage in 2 hours. What are you doing? It just kills me. It kills me.
No,
but
I know.
To that point,
right. So
hi. Fran comes from an incredible lineage of powerful, amazing women. And her aunt, who I had the pleasure and honor of meeting, Margot Jefferson, is a Pulitzer Prize winning novelist. Come on. Pulitzer? Her book, and I have got getting to it, is on my list of like I'm working through Cecily Tyson's book, Negro Land, a memoir, and give us some of the story of this.
Well, I was just about to say, John Malik, and that Negro politeness.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's about. It's about having to fit in, I think, and the damage, the psychological damage, and what that did to her mental health and her, right? And she wanted to share this story so that the next generation would not put themselves through it in the same way. Yeah. You know, and I think that that's what's so incredible about, similarly, our artwork and our community work is how we can pay it forward. And by sharing our authentic experiences, you know, we can heal the next generation, or have them at least have some insight and some awareness as they go deal with these crazy people.
No, it's true. Crazy. Like, my approach to dealing with, you know, ridiculousness and shenanigans is way different than my mom's. Even though my mom is pretty, you know, forceful, but I just remember being on Amtrak one day with her, and the Amtrak person, ticket taker, was just really rude to her and just really condescending. I was like, "Who are you talking to like that?" And my mom was like, no, it's not okay. Who are you talking to like that? This is not your mama's 50s. No, we're not. And this was even like 15 years ago, but even still, like, we're not backing down.
No.
We're past that.
Right.
and we're done explaining shit to you people. Like I'm done with that. Like, oh, you people, ooh, well, whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, be that magical Negro that's gonna explain racism to you. I'm done with that.
No, read my book.
Everybody got Google, and then even now with since the election and all these ridiculous voter suppression laws that they're trying, girl,
I can't.
what the hell?
I know. Right.
So we talked about this Black woman perfection disease. Can we even call it that? Where everything has to be right. We can't show our weakness. We can't show our vulnerability. But also some of that is put upon culturally. Strong Black woman. Done.
No, that's what I was saying to you about ballet.
Yeah.
I think that gave me that, that outlet in a way.
Yeah.
Well, dance. I mean, being an artist, it doesn't matter if it's ballet or modern. It's like, just being able to move lyrically and be vulnerable. I mean, I just feel so grateful for that. I feel sometimes it's interesting being older now and reading more and reflecting more, just how protected we were, Danny, in our world.
Yeah.
We were in we had these families that were watching after us, and we
were in a different type of bubble. Like,
yes, we were.
We were in our little artistic bubble, and now kids are bubbling so they can keep themselves alive with COVID, the bubbles.
I know.
But we were in our little arts.
We were
bubble family.
That's right.
I miss that.
No, I do too. You're creating that though. You have your bubble.
I miss touring. Did you like touring?
Oh, I loved touring.
Me too.
I loved it. I would love wandering through these cities. I loved writing, journaling. Absolutely.
I say it even now. Like if I get a phone call today or tomorrow to go sing backgrounds with somebody for a 6-month tour, I'm there.
Right.
I got a little bag packed in a quarter.
Right.
I'm ready.
I hear you. I think we all are now. I heard my husband was talking about that on the phone with the friends. Like, child, people are ready to go out for drinks. People are ready to travel. People, I mean, forget it. We are going to be in another couple months. Just bursting out.
Or if you feel okay to say, you feel like you'll get the vaccine? How do you feel about the vaccine?
Yes, I do. I think I want to see a little bit more about what's going on, but I think so. I think I will. What about you?
Well, I guess I could say it publicly so they've opened up who's eligible to nonprofit public facing workers. And that put me in that category. So City Parks Foundation was able to give letters of eligibility to all full-time employees. So I made an appointment. I have an appointment for my first shot.
This is fantastic.
March 29.
No, I have a lot of people have been they've been fine. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I told my mom, I'm like, so I'm gonna get the shot, Mom. And she was like, you should be okay. You're relatively healthy. I was like, relatively.
Where did that come from?
What?
Right. What?
So you just had a milestone though.
Yes.
With Francesca Harper, the Francesca Harper project.
Yes.
So 2000, when did you start the company?
2005.
So just made more than 10 years.
Yes.
And what are your plans for the Is it still active? I mean, you're still.
Well, it is. What's been very interesting, I'll tell you, everything I've pivoted to film. Mm-hmm. We just created a film with the New York Choral Society. I've done 5 world premiere films. So I've quickly pivoted to film and producing film work. And so, but that's also, I've been doing that because you remember I've been doing that. I've been creating. So it's been funny. I've been one of these go-to people to create films. When I think when we first started, Jacob's Pillow, Pam Taji reached out and said, help figure out something, because I know you're out of film work. So I think people have been, giving me great opportunities, which has also led to, I've always been very interested in producing film and television works. And I started by a friend of mine wrote a screenplay a few years ago. And I produced a reading of it with Felicia Rashad as the lead. which was really, really great.
Wow.
And then I would directed a musical, and we're also adapting that to a television series. And most recently, I bought the rights to a story, and I have partnered with Sony Pictures. And we are now talking about making it into a series. I will definitely let the name out when it happens. And so it's really wonderful. And it's wonderful, like, it's like, creating an art piece. It's for the community. It's really a story that's important right now for Black people.
Yes.
Which is something that that's something to live for.
Yes.
So I think that's also very exciting, the thought of being able to get a story out there, to reach out globally, like we can do on the internet now. Yeah. But that for me has always been, I think with the dance world, I just want people more exposure.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
but to your point, like, now is the time where we've been creating, we've been telling our stories and but because we're in this sort of Black Lives Matter really intense moment, we got to take advantage and ride it and not take our foot off the gas once we, let's keep going. And so to your point about our Black stories and that we're not a monolith, there's so, like, even just listening to you talk and you're like, les noces, I'm like, we're so many things, right? And I bring this movie up so many times because I just think it's so amazing, the documentary, Mr. Soul, about Ellis Hazlitt. And I'm just like, that's it. We can do anything. We're dancers, we're rappers, we're doctors, we're astronauts, we're, biochemists, we're singers. I mean, we can do anything. We're not just this one thing that maybe some part of, mainstream media wants to show the world. Still to this day.
I know. I think really when I think about that and we talk about our bubbles, I think our job is to make sure that we keep each other resilient.
Yeah. Ooh. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. And even for me, even though I've had all manner of folk on my platform, it gives me such great joy to be able to bring, folks like yourself on, because it's like, yeah, this is a depth of who we are. And we think about these things, not just coming out here shucking and jiving. We're out here like creating some major, I mean, the fashion shows you've designed and directed, the show with Tommy Hilfiger with Zendaya, I mean, come on. In the Armory, like you just said, with Nick Cave and these major artists, it's just so inspiring. And I just want people, no matter what race, creed, age, to just be inspired by all that we are and all that we are capable of doing, and that we've been for centuries.
That's right.
Centuries.
That's right. Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. We keep on keeping on. Margot says at the end of her book, she says, "So what? Go on." Right. She says, "Go on. Just keep going."
Yeah.
I think that's the resilience that we're talking about. Life is challenging, but that's also what makes us such strong people, is that we have this fortification and we have this resilience and we have each other.
That's right. And I just, again, looking back over your trajectory of your family and your mom, who created that, to this day, the Fordham, Ailey program for higher learning while you're dancing, all of the above. I mean, that's just unbelievable. And it's how proud, to be a part of that lineage. And so you now, as a mother yourself, in a mixed race marriage, like, how do you navigate those waters with Harper? How old is she now? Is she 9?
10.
She's 10.
She's 10. I can't believe it. I know. I mean, I'm realizing, I think the best way, because she's really her own person. And it's very funny. I had a lot of my mother's kind of forceful training skills when I first started parenting, but that's not who she is. She doesn't need it. She needs for me to lead by example so she can learn. So that's been very interesting, that it's almost as if you know, it's actually, it's a little less weight for me in a way to worry about, you know, doing things for her, and that's just, she's getting older now too, but she's always been her own kind of strong person. I think I want her also to discover what's important to her in terms of being mixed race. We read books together. There's this beautiful book, Blended, that we talk about both, and it talks about, you know, I think she's very much, you know, and my father was a civil rights lawyer, so, you know, she has this mother at home that's just always talking about it. It's part of my mission.
Right.
So I think that's what she's going to absorb what she absorbs.
Wow.
And I'll be so curious to see where she takes it. She'll find some way to infuse it into her own journey and
that's right.
life.
Is she taking dance class?
She is. Oh my gosh, I'll tell you, I started a virtual children's program online.
What?
Because they didn't have in-person classes. They had to stop them for the year. She was at Ailey. So I started, and we teach ballet and Horton and you know, and we have a Broadway Fridays class, and and private singing lessons. And
come on, Fran. Come on, Harper.
Yes. Oh, so she does it. She's in the school production of Les Miserables right now, playing Cosette.
I can't.
She is.
She's gonna be winning.
She filmed a commercial, her first commercial.
Really?
For CBS, yeah.
Oh, see, and she's so beautiful. She's so that face.
Danny G Mini Me.
Danny G Mini Me. There are so many great people in the room. I'm trying not to be distracted by people jumping in the room. King Britt is here. Gabe from ABT is here. Hey, Gabe. I mean, like, so many amazing folks are here. It's so incredible. This is Francesca Harper. If you miss any of this, I will, you know, be able to save this to my IGTV, but as well as my YouTube page afterwards. I'm trying to be, you know, I'm trying to do it, y'all. I'm trying to do it.
You are. You are doing it.
Wait, I'm trying to look over my notes because I know I have some other. Oh, so going back to Broadway, though. I'm always fascinated by the kids that have gone on from concert dance to Broadway. And I mean, like I asked, oh, hey, Nancy Cantra. I'm sorry. I remember asking Corinne this and others, but what was a transition like for you to go from being in a concert dance companies to the Broadway 8 shows a week, night after night after night, digging that originality each night?
It was a grind. I mean, it really, I had a moment too. I think I felt burnt out at a certain moment, and I had to remind myself, you know, it was really hard, especially that Donald Byrd choreographer, I think The Color Purple. It was like, oh my God. But there was a moment that I realized a friend saw me. This is a crazy story. Saw me and saw that I was like feeling, a little resigned or just having a moment. And I thought, well, what am I doing? I mean, I've trained every day. I love performing. How can I feel this? So I started doing my little ballet bar and vocalizing before every performance. And I said, I've just got to really dig in, even though it's difficult and it's challenging. I've got to go even further. My friend Ty Jimenez always told me that. She was like, you can never go deeply enough into the art. And and I did that, and I always talk to my students about that. And because I started really kind of taking my instrument and really honing and taking care of it, I got my first leading role in Sweet Charity.
Yes, Helene. Yeah.
And that was after that moment that I was just like, okay, I have to respect.
Yes. And then
I have to respect all these moments, all these opportunities, and never take them for granted.
Right.
And so that was really an eye opener. And I constantly tell my students about that one. It's like, no, you know, that's a real testament to never giving up.
Uh-oh, we lost your volume. Can you hear me, Fran? Did you get a phone call? Uh-oh, we lost your volume, Fran. If you can hear me, can you hear me? You may have to go out and come back in. Oh no, it was so juicy. Let's see. Oh, so did you get a phone call during this just now? Because it happened to my last talk. So you may have to go out and come back in. You try that. So while Fran is resetting, because I really want to continue this Broadway conversation, if you guys have any questions before she comes back in, hopefully she will be able to get her back. But I mean, Fran is amazing. Just follow her on her page, the Francesca Harper Project, as well as her personal page, which is, I think, Harper Francesca, and all the amazing work that she does, you know, just in the concert dance world, but also in the commercial world, fashion. I mean, there's just so much to Francesca, that, which is why I'm so inspired by her. And I'm hoping we can get her back just to close out the last 10 minutes. Hey, Addison. Hey, Zinta. So I'm hoping that she'll be able to send me another request. Let me see if she's still here, guys. And thank you guys so much for being here. Oh, I don't see her. Maybe she lost her. Oh, there she is. Okay, let me see if I can bring her back in really quickly. Because she's amazing. Isn't she amazing? Come on. Thank you all for being here. This is so awesome. There you are. Can we hear you now?
Hi.
Yes,
How are
perfect.
you? I can hear you. I got it. I put my
Okay,
AirPods
beautiful.
in.
So
Yes.
so you were just saying about digging in, never giving up. And I mean, I think that's true, because even with, you know, you're going to hit a plateau. At some point, you're going to go, and then that's when you got to go to that next level of your artistry and your commitment to these art forms. And so, and you just did,
That's
so tell
right.
us about, speaking of being in this moment of, you know, Zoom and we're all on our screens, but you just had a premiere with Ballet X down in
Yes.
Philly that you choreographed through Zoom. Is this correct?
That's right. I did. I love the work. I'm so proud of it. Well, I
It's
love
called
that
Saul,
company.
right?
Yes, yes. I love that company. I sent them. I've been
Me
working on a
too.
piece for, aren't they fabulous? Yes, right. You Philadelphia. Exactly. Right.
Okay, that's my girl, Christine Cox.
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I sent them these light boxes. I've been working on this piece for about 3 years through this Urban Bushwoman Fellowship. I sent
Mm-hmm.
them these light boxes and light ropes, and we transformed that studio to, I just, we were able to kind of create these images that I really had not seen before. I'm really proud of that work. It was
Yeah.
really, really unbelievable.
Are
I
we still
worked
able
with
to
Daniel
see it on their
Madoff,
site?
who's, huh?
Is it still available to be
It
seen?
is. You have to, I think they have a subscription though. I have to tell you, Christine Cox is so, so brilliant. She was
That girl, she's no joke. Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. You knew we went to high school together, right?
No. Oh, I could see that. I could totally see that. She and I were on a panel for Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Ballet, and she was just sitting next to me. I was like, "Oh, I like you." I said that she's like salt of the earth, you know, that kind of woman.
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, she's ready to dig into
Oh,
life."
she's amazing. I was already there at our performing arts high school, and then she came in. Maybe I was in 10th grade, she was in ninth grade or something, and we clicked. We were in the same ballet classes, and we just, you know, followed each other, you know, through the years and carrying on. I had the pleasure of presenting Ballet X. Like, how proud.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
come on.
Yes.
And
Yes. No.
they've just surpassed 15 years as an entity and doing amazing work throughout
Amazing
this
work.
entire pandemic.
Yep.
It's
No, it's
really a
remarkable. I
testament.
think hundreds of commissions or something, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
I know. I can't even, no, is it like, no, maybe not. I'm exaggerating, but maybe like 30, 20,
But it feels
30.
like it.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, really. I mean, you talk about the quick pivot. I just am so proud of us as artists
Yes.
in this time. I saw some video today, this beautiful, it looks like an orchestra of this one man is in the front with all of these like 40 dancers behind. They're doing all these gestures, and it looks like this orchestra of bodies. It's just I'll send
Mm.
it to you. But I
Yes,
just think, my
please.
gosh, these artists are just creating phenomenal pieces
Yes.
online.
So, in these last few moments that I have with you, and thank you again. You know, I
Oh,
adore
it's
you,
been a gift.
Francesca. I mean, we just
I
laugh and cry
adore
when we see each
you.
other.
I adore you. We're gonna be old ladies
We're
with
gonna be
our
old
we
ladies. Okay.
are talking about. I remember
You look good
when.
though.
I know, right? No, that's down the
Okay.
line. That's not. That's down. What?
Okay. And so, just, I mean, I have if you guys want to learn more about Francesca, her website is in my bio, on my page here, the Francesca Harper Project, as well as links to your music. Like Moto Fusion was your first music project back in,
Long time ago. I know.
Right.
Yeah.
But you did it. It's on iTunes. Anything that
I know, my
we
Juilliard
can
kids,
support
they
you
always
on
joke
in this
with me
moment.
about it. Thank you.
But is there
what am I
anything?
doing? Well, there is. Well, no, I'll let you know. With the New York Choral Society, tune in on April 6th. I created a wonderful film with Ricardo Hartley, who is an amazing dancer, and Hope Clark.
She's in it?
Yes, she's in it. It's called Mother to Son, based on a Langston Hughes poem, and it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful soloist, soprano, and these beautiful choral. They're amazing. So it's called Mother to Son, and check it out, New York Choral Society.
Is that on your website?
It will be now.
Well, send me the link.
I will.
As I share the copy of this.
Yes.
But just any words.
I love you. Thank you.
I love
words.
You.
Let me see. You know, just don't give up. Keep creating. And self-care now. You know, I think we have this opportunity because we do have some time to ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, make sure we get that rest. Yes. So that when we're back together, we have an even more kind of enriching experience. I've really enjoyed having some more time to widen. You know, we're so used to putting our blinders on and climbing up that mountain. But, you know, we can kind of sit with each other and reflect. And, you know, I think it's just going to deepen our experience together as a community.
Yes, I love that. And I can't wait to hear more about your film project or your series.
I will let
you heard it here first, folks.
I know. No, I think it's, you know, we had a very good meeting the other day, and I think things are really going to happen. So I will definitely let you know.
Yes, you're going to have to come back on once it launches.
Okay.
Because it will.
It's happening. Yes, that's right.
So I love you, Fran.
I love you so much. Keep up the wonderful work. Thank you for this.
Big hugs to Harper. Your husband.
Oh, yes.
Family, all of the above.
We send you all our love.
Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon. See you sooner, hopefully.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. So that was, as you saw, the amazing, amazing Francesca Harper. Please support her work. She's prolific. She's everywhere. She's been such an inspiration to me, and even in our parallel lives. But you know, her incredible mother, the late great Denise Jefferson, who so beloved to our dance community. In any case, as I opened up, I mentioned that I am wearing this shirt from Mahogany Mommies. Drink your water, love hard, you know, fight racism, just be kind. We gotta come together. Again, my prayers up to the families of Atlanta, across the world, everything that we're all fighting for: justice, democracy, love, and just togetherness. I also, the other book that I got this week, if I can find it, I went to Beacon, as some of you know, earlier this week in the bookstore. I got this book by Maya Angelou and photos by Jean-Michel Basquiat, and Life Doesn't Frighten Me. So I can't wait to go through it. Some of the photos and the poetry. I mean, it's just so incredible. But in any case, that's my little pitch for literacy and art and love. Pick up a copy of Negroland if you can, by Margot Jefferson, New York Times bestseller. She is a Pulitzer Prize winning author. Come on. And this is Francesca's auntie. Hey, Megan. So that's it for today. My guest next week is Tamisha Guy. I'm so excited to interview her next week. She is a leading dancer with Kyle Abraham's Abraham in Motion. And yeah, to round out Women's History Month, Tamisha Guy next Friday. So have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. My book plugs. Yeah. So if you have something you want me to share on this platform, feel free to send me a link, you know, whatever. Let me know and I will share. So this is all about the culture, all about the community, and I love you guys for watching. Again, if you missed any portion of this, fingers crossed, because Instagram has been acting crazy today. I will be able to share this on my IGTV right here on this channel, as well as on my YouTube channel, dannIGeeLive. So I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next Friday. Stay safe.